I'm using the text today, ideas from Dr. David Hawkins. Dr. David Hawkins, and he wrote several books, and he's a medical doctor and a psychiatrist, so double that. And I'm so inspired by this work because there's been a 2 or 3 spiritual practices in my life that cut through it all just like a sword. So that cut right into the illusions, right into the delusions, and actually left me again and again and again on solid ground. So I committed at the end of last year to go back to those practices that had been the most transformational for me, and to bring them out into the world through talks, through the workshops and seminars and things that I'm doing. So the book is called Letting Go, and the subtitle of it is The Pathway of Surrender. The Pathway of Surrender. And I also lead a monthly facilitated discussion on this. That's all on my website, marthacreek.com, if you want to join in that. You don't have to register. It's on a donation basis, and anybody in the world is welcome. I'm also using the notions of a universal Christ. So how to live in what our science of mind says is in the top of our consciousness and our elevated consciousness, and how we would be in the world living in and from that consciousness instead of from our regressive, more animalistic, hardwired self. So that is tomorrow on Monday in the middle of the day. So 9:00, I think it is for y'all. And then the next week is letting go. And then I do integrating the work, which is inquiry on the third Monday of the month. So you're welcome to join any of those. But here's some ideas from Dr. Hawkins that I'll expand on and ask y'all to begin to think about this and see what the difference it would make in your own life. So I already know most of us that are in New Thought have been seekers since the beginning. Can you relate to that? Like, there was this drive in you to like figure something out and kind of get to the answers and things. So it's kept us students. And I'm really glad about that, actually. I feel like I'm a lifelong student. Most of the people that I meet are. The teachings of all the great masters unfold from within. All the teachings of all the great masters unfold from within us, from our own personal and direct experience. So letting go is a tool by which then we can reach this spiritual goal, which is to take down everything unlike itself, to dismantle the old paradigms, to dismantle the old structures of knowing and the old beliefs, and to come back into a direct experience of what is unfolding within us. Anyone can accomplish this if and to the degree we silently surrender throughout the day, not just on Sundays at 10, but periodically, routinely through our day, that we stop and silently surrender. So think about when your toast pops up and it's burnt. Remember when you used to eat bread? So when somebody doesn't call you back, when the trash can's been turned over, anything, the more subtle for me, the more powerful. So this is the practice then of encouraging you today, inspiring you today to begin to apply this. So then in day to day, throughout my day, to purposefully, intentionally, silently surrender throughout my common, run-of-the-mill, ordinary daily life. And then this progressive disappearance of resistance, of what we call negativity, the despair, all of that is replaced by surrender, by freedom, by liberation, by something new, something different. So it is the pleasure that we're seeking, the pleasure that we want to experience in our life is possible to the degree that we do this. not waiting for it to align with us, but in us surrendering to what is, as it unfolds. And the good news is we don't have to like it a bit. You don't have to like it a bit. You sure don't have to love it. And we can still surrender if liberation is more important to you, if liberation is a bigger priority to you than the pain, the suffering. So see if these thoughts resonate. What in the world is wrong with them? Why would they do that? Why can't I be happy? How are we going to address the human dilemma? Has the world gone crazy? Any of these thoughts seem familiar? And then the desperation, then, this unattainable, always seeking to answer the question, claiming and affirming there's nothing wrong with me. I'm a perfect whole child of God, while I'm secretly believing there's something wrong with me. Like in my psyche, in my subconscious, in my unconscious, in my underworld, there's that old rooted belief that's as old as creation that there's something wrong with me, that there's something bad about me, that I'm flawed, that I'm not whole, that I am separate, which I am not separate. I cannot be separate. I've never been separate, nor can I be separate, but we've not caught up to it yet. So we can say it and affirm it and pray it and meditate with it. And then we've still got what's in the underworld. So the good news is everybody's in the same shape. We're all kind of desperate about this. And even though sometimes we don't want to be in a fuss about it, we find ourselves in a fuss about it. So then life can get simpler with practice, with life getting simpler. And then he's got a great chapter in here. So I'm going to read just a part of it because I want to see how it's funny as can be to see how much you have done of these things. So as I read them, you might just make if you're writing or taking notes, just make a tick mark on, oh yeah, I've been there. Oh yeah, I did that. Oh yeah, I did that. Oh yeah, I did that. So he says, what about experts? People that'll tell you what the answers are. He's like, avoid the experts. God spare us from the righteous. Their confusion, they're just as confused as we are, but just more in a sophisticated, impressive jargon and some kind of an elaborate mental construct that we fell under the spell of. These experts also have their own predetermined belief systems, which they try to then impart on us and squeeze us into. So here you go. I tried religion, psychiatry, social workers, astrologers, philosophers, EST training, Warner Earhart training, landmark training, EFT, chakra balancing, reflexology, acupuncture, iridology, lights, crystals, sounds, meditation, mantras, green tea, Pentecostals, breathe in fire, speak in tongues, get centered, NLP, actualization, visualization, psychology, Jungian groups, Rolfing, psychedelics, psychic readings, jog, exercise, colonics, nutrition, aerobics, hang upside down, wear psychic jewelry, get feedback, gestalt therapy, homeopathic, chiropractic, naturopathic, kinesiology, enneagrams, meridians, consciousness groups, tranquilizers, hormones, sea salts, minerals, balance, pray, implore, beseech, astral projections, vegetarian, eat only cabbage, macrobiotics, go organic, no GMO, Native American medicine, sweat lodges, Chinese herbs, shiatsu, acupuncture, feng shui, go to India, get a guru, take off your clothes, swim in the Ganges, stare at the sun, shave your head, eat with your hands, Get messy, cold showers, tribal chants, hypnotic regression, primal screaming, punch pillows, Feldenkrais, marriage counselors, go to Unity, go to New Thought, Ernest Holmes, write affirmations, make a vision board, I Ching, Dao Jing, tarot cards, Zen, yoga, the occult, magic, shamanic journey, take retreats, fasting, amino acids, mystery school, secret handshakes, toning. Well, I see that your laughter tells a lot about you. So this is the trips around the mulberry bush, so to speak. And there's more. I mean, that's just a piece of it. But one day I'm going to read it just like I did in its full thing and make a comedy skit out of it. For those of us who can laugh about it. So where is the blind spot? Where is your blind spot? How is it with all the searching, the seeking, the wanting to know that we can't seem to find the answer? We can't find the answer because we don't understand the problem. Maybe it's more ultra simple, profoundly simple that our mind will let us believe. So profoundly simple, we can't see it. Like the nose on our face, we cannot see our nose either. Some of you are trying it. You look cute. Try to see if you can see your nose. See, no amount of trying to achieve it can you see it. Now you can use a mirror, it will reflect it. So then today, starting today, we can reawaken to it is nothing outside of me. There is no solution out there. And it's the same belief systems, the same BS belief systems that will distract me, disrupt me, blind me from what is most obvious. So in a Christian tradition, it could be stated as it's closer than your hands and your feet. The last place we will look. Mystic writers write it as it's the diamond in your own pocket. We're looking for the diamond everywhere instead of our own pocket. So what if it was okay to not know? Like, I'm just going to know what I know. I'm going to know that I'm one with God. I've never been separate from God, nor can I be. So then no circumstance, no situation, no anything can override that. So then I have situations, I have circumstance, I have life unfolding, and it's all included. So then Dr. Hawkins encourages then to allow for some of this confusion, that we're better off in the confusion than we are to buy into some of this thinking we know, or the spell of what other people think they know. So he actually says it, and this is a quote from this book: confusion is our salvation. Confusion is my salvation. For in the confusion, there's still hope. In the confusion, there's hope. It is our best defense against other people's answers. It's our best defense against somebody else's projections on us. I don't know. You could be right. I don't know. So I'm going to go with my own direct experience. I'm going to go with what is unfolding from inside me. Like I have an internal GPS system. a God positioning system that says, I hear what you believe, it's clear what you believe, and I'm going to be more internally referenced about this, less likely to kind of fall under the spell of that. So this method of letting go is a simple one with the ability then to reach clarity quicker, to live more from clarity, and then a way of actually transcending, which is what we meditate and pray about, to actually transcend these imagined problems, or what we call problems, which it can be defined as, it's a problem anytime I don't get what I want, which is a 3-year-old's perspective. Anytime I don't get what I want, it's a problem. Versus there's no such thing. There is no such thing as a problem. Just a mental construct that we put on it, defined by the maturity of a 3-year-old, that says anytime I do not get what I want, it's a problem. And then we get to practice that this is a way to verify what we claim to believe. To verify for myself, I am one with God. I am not separate from God, nor can I be. And I'm going to know this truth. I'm going to live from this truth. And I'm going to apply it during my daily life. When the mind will say, this is a problem, I'm going to go back quicker and quicker and quicker to this letting go. And every tradition has taught us this. Know thyself, know thyself, know for thyself, regulate thyself. Know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. It doesn't say read about the truth. Know the truth. And that the kingdom is within us. The kingdom, the power, and the glory is within us. So whatever the faith tradition, it's similar, said similarly in all the faith traditions. So because then this mechanism is our own, the practice is our own, the application of this is our own, nobody or no circumstance can take this from me. Nobody can take this from me. No circumstance can take this from me, because the mechanism is my own practice. It's my own application of this. So then I am freer and freer, safer, more powerful relative to the illusions, the delusions, and the disillusionment. I also can find out for myself what is true, what is real, and what are the mind's false belief systems? What are the mind's false programming and false BS? For example, my spouse should understand me. Do any of you have spouses? What's the chances they're going to understand you? And if they do, it's a miracle and it'll pass. So it's an old belief system that says, I don't even understand me. Most of the time, I don't understand me either. How could my spouse or somebody else understand me? So then they're off the hook. And then other myths like children should respect their parents. It's like, what planet do you live on? Traffic should flow. We're going to be healthy all the time. It's like, it's impossible. It's health and illness in cycles. Sun up, sun down. Cycles. But we've made illness a problem instead of like, it's an expression of life. It's life expressing as that. We're the one that called it a problem. And then eventually we can discover this inner self, this inner body that Buddha and Krishna and the Tao speak about, that is an inner something that's not susceptible to this. It's not threatened by this. And that as and I believe this seeker, those of, well, for everybody, but those of us can be a little more aware of it, because this is what we've known for sure. We've unconsciously known this, which has kept us searching and kept us seeking, that we always unconsciously or subconsciously knew that it was there, that this inner self and this whatever we're trying to fill had to be filled from the inside. So then the truth becomes more accessible, a little more self-evident. So the greatest thing about this and this technique is you don't have to learn something really. It's like an unlearning even, or there's nothing new to memorize, but a practice of inquiry. Is that true? Is that true? She should have called me back. Did she call you back? No. So no should is true. Should in itself reveals to us we're believing something false. Wanting what we don't have reveals that we're in a false belief system. Believing we need something we're not getting, like that. So then the difference is a quieter observation. What's arising? What's true? Is it true? And what's the consequences if I believe it? And who would I be if I didn't? So this is nothing new. It's nothing that you haven't heard. I just believe you heard it differently today. I hear it differently today. So it's already yours. It's yours right here and right now. It is mine right here and right now. It is always yours and mine right here and right now. And we're merely reawakened to it. We're merely rediscovering it now. So the purpose of a letting go approach, a pathway to surrender, is merely to put us in touch with our inner world. And more in touch with our inner world and our inner knowing and our inner experiences than we are the outer. So it's a true description of being self-realized, not other-realized. And then this process of surrendering and applying this throughout our daily routines becomes automatic with practice. To the point I even tease, if you start to do this, people will ask you what new medication you're on. Because it's like your triggers have been taken down. Your buttons, see, are not as active. And see, they install the buttons so they know how to push them. So when these buttons get deactivated, it's like, oh my God, are you on a new medication? Oh, let me guess, you're meditating again. They'll be right. For it is the nature of the mind, it is the nature of our heart and our mind to seek relief. To seek relief from suffering. It is the nature of us to experience freedom and happiness, more happiness. And this is a way for that, a mechanism of letting go. And you can read all about it or come to the class later in the month or whatever. If you want to speak more about it or hear more about it, you're welcome to do that. Or go online and look up Dr. David Hawkins and Letting Go. Dr. David Hawkins, Hawkins. And I was asked to speak a little bit about in the meditation what it was like if we gave up this achievement, this drive to achieve. So look at the consequences of trying to achieve something. And you may achieve it and you're tired from it, but it's a good tired. It's like I achieved what I set out. It could be that you got something accomplished, or you got a garden planted, or you got some groceries in, or whatever. Like I'm tired from it. It was a project. It was something I achieved, and I'm tired, but it's a good tired. Like I know what my what for was. I know what my why was about that. The other achieving is trying to be a somebody. It's trying to be a somebody. It's trying to avoid failing or being seen as a failure, or as there's something wrong with you, or you didn't do enough, or you weren't helpful enough, or you didn't care enough. Can you even feel like what's happening in your spirit as you even hear that? So that's a thief. That's a thief of clarity. It's a thief of inner realization. It's a thief of joy, a thief of freedom and happiness, to try to be a somebody, to try to achieve something. So it's just easier to be a nobody, because in being a nobody, I'm all that is. When I can take down the identities and that, then I'm left with what's true about me. What we say in our affirmations, a divine expression of all that is. The Alpha and the Omega. So get a sense of it. And then pray with me, whatever prayer comes to your mind. As we close this section, we are awakened again. We're awake and aware. We have a new understanding of our practice and what's possible for us, to be more accepting of confusion, of not knowing, and of looking at any daily situation and going right into, what if I let go? What if I let go? So we pray knowing that we are one with all that is. We pray knowing in gratitude that it is having its way with us, that its way is the way. We pray in gratitude that we're more awake of this, that we're more aware of this, that we've gotten some re-spark today, that we've been sparked again today to live this out, to practice this in our daily lives, in every situation, every circumstance, motivated by being and expressing this in the world, motivated by caring for our own soul's evolution, and in doing so that we are caring for the soul of humanity in its evolution, that our contributions are great indeed by doing our own deep inner work. We give thanks for this time, this community, for the teaching, for the practice, and for the spark, for the remembering, and for beginning again. So be it. So it is. MarthaCreek.com if I can support you. Blessings.